Assalamualaikum and greeting to you all. Welcome back to the news. As we all know, we are now facing a pandemic of coronavirus disease, COVID-19. Our country cases day by day has spiked and has lost many lives as a result of this epidemic. And this is sad news for all of us. We have to acknowledge all the frontliners, doctors and health workers who are doing their best to fight this epidemic. We are now facing an enemy that cannot be seen with the naked eye, but we can prevent it by playing our respective roles. COVID-19 has impacted badly on our economy, but we don't want to talk about economy because there will be no economy if everyone is dead. Today in the news, we want to discuss the good things that affect our environment due to COVID-19. To curb the spread of the virus and reduce the number of deaths, most countries are taking the initiative to restrict movement. Most of the big countries have implemented lockdowns, like India, Canada, Singapore, and even our beloved country. Only necessities can be opened, like emergency needs and services. The benefits of this lockdown result in a positive effect in reducing air pollution and GHG emissions. When industries, transportation, and companies shut down, this causes a sudden drop in greenhouse gas GHG emissions. We bring you in the news today a live interview with Professor of Environment from UTM, Professor ABUL, to comment further on this issue. Professor, can you give us more deeply about the sudden drop in greenhouse gas emission?
First of all, I want to thank you for inviting me. So, regarding to a question about the sudden drop in greenhouse gas emission which occurred due to COVID-19, the current worldwide pandemic of the COVID-19 is the greatest global challenge since World War II. As of the end of May 2021, about 600,000 cases has been confirmed in Malaysia. With a growing number of confirmed cases, Malaysia have implemented various forms of lockdown and movement restrictions, including restriction on social movement, immediate isolation of positive COVID-19 patients, travelling bans, closure of international and interstate borders, closing of schools and higher learning institutions, and suspension of industrial activities and public transportation since March 2020. This lockdown and restriction have forced many developing economies into a recession, generating high debt, increased unemployment, and reduction in manufacturing and service activities throughout Malaysia. As a result of the COVID-19 lockdown and restriction, various positive and negative environmental impacts were recorded in Malaysia. Most prominent of all, there were noticeable improvement in air quality and transboundary haze pollutions within the region. In the major urban areas of Malaysia, air pollutants such as fine particles, or more commonly known as particulate matter 2.5, carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and carbon dioxide were found to have substantially decreased in concentration. Such a decrease was attributable to the social restriction of work from home, which resulted in a drastic decline in number of vehicles on the road. The reduction of air pollutant concentrations in Malaysia was as much as 64%, attributable to be a more recent movement control orders MCO that temporarily halted most of the anthropogenic activities and industrial operations. So, the reduction of the air pollutants concentrations occurred mostly in industrial and urban areas, which was directly associated with vehicle emissions. Similarly to the pollutants index values also improved, together with the reduction in land surface temperature, which occurred mostly in urban areas due largely to emission reduction from vehicles and industries. However, the concentration of nitrogen oxide remains unchanged in areas with coal and gas power plants in Malaysia, since the power plants operated continually even during the lockdown. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof, for all the input and your time with us in this news. Next, our reporter had an interview with locals to ask for opinions and views on this issue. Back to you, Shafiq.
Thank you to our newsreader Nadia AQILAH. My name is Muhammad Syafiq bin JEMAIN. So here now I at Johor Bahru area. As we can see, the number of cars that are on the road is greatly reduced. This is due to the order of our Malaysia government to execute a Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan or more known as PKP. These efforts are carried out to reduce the daily cases caused by the spread of the COVID-19. But in the good way is, we can see that the global disruption caused by the COVID-19 has brought a several effect on the environment and climate. Due to the movement restriction and a significant slowdown of social and economic activities, air quality has improved in many cities with a reduction in different parts of the world. When we look back on Goal 13 of our Sustainable Development Goals, which is a climate change, we can say that we are nearly reached Goal 13 of SDG. Reduction of air pollution and greenhouse gases emission as industries, transportation, and companies have closed down, it has brought a sudden drop of a greenhouse gases emission. Compared with this time last year, levels of air pollution in Malaysia has reduced because of measures taken to control the virus. So this is how it can be addressed under Goal 13 of our Sustainable Development Goals. So we have asked some people about their opinion how this issue will affect towards society, economy and environment.
At the end of 2019, confirmed case of coronavirus disease 2019 COVID-19 appeared in Wuhan, which is a mega city in central China. The disease spread abruptly throughout the world country in the following months, this causing the drastic reduction of human activities where most of the countries practice movement control order or MCO. I believe substantial improvement in quality were highly correlated with COVID-19 related emission reduction. To put things in perspective, it took a pandemic and the resulting widespread economic shutdown to bring a 4 to 8% reduction in global carbon dioxide emission. During this pandemic, with no one driving, no one flying, and global economies put more or less on hold, countries around the world saw an unprecedented drop in their emission. Reducing carbon emission would decrease the number of deaths related to air pollution and help to ease pressure on healthcare system in our society. Reducing these co-emitted air pollutants also improve our air quality, which will benefit human health. In summary, this pandemic does give good effect towards our society and environment. Even so, our economy is still affected due to movement restrictions imposed by each country.
Next, we will ask their opinion about how to resolve this situation.
In my opinion, the use of green and public transport should be implemented. To reduce carbon emissions, it is necessary to encourage people to use public transport rather private vehicles. Besides, people should encourage to use bicycle in a short distance, and public bike sharing, also known as PBS, system like China, should be available for mass usage, which is not only environment friendly but also beneficial for health. In addition, to reduce the carbon footprint and global carbon emission, it is necessary to change the behavior in our daily life and optimum consumption of resources like avoid processed and take locally grown food, make compost from food waste, switch off or unplug electronic devices when not used, and use a bicycle instead of a car for shorter distances. Also, international cooperation is also needed to meet the sustainable environmental goal and protection of global environmental resources such as the global climate and biological diversity. Combined international effort is essential. Hence, Responsible international authority like United Nations Environment Programme, also known as UN Environment, should take effective role to prepare time-oriented policies, arrange international conventions and coordination of global leaders for proper implementation.
Thank you, that's all from me, Berita TV3.
Thank you so much, Shafiq, for the footage from local opinions about this issue. That's all from the news. Remember to always keep do our part by wearing a triple layer face mask and start doing double masking, washing hair regularly, and using hand sanitizer. Also, maintain a social distancing, practice 3W and avoid 3C. And most importantly, go get vaccinated in order to achieve herd immunity, as they will reduce cases and deaths. Follow science and statistics are not a conspiracy. Let's help our frontliner by helping ourselves first. Let's achieve back 0 cases. Stay safe everyone and have a good day.